And we had a question for you. What would you say is the most important skill for success? Focus. Focus is the most important requirement for success. With focus, you can do anything, and without focus, you can do nothing. Focus is the key to success. And it's really interesting because I began teaching this concept back in the year 2000. I began a coaching and mentoring program that I called Focal Point coaching. You know, the focal point is where if you hold a magnifying glass in a certain way, it'll have a focal point that burns, and you can burn through things. Well, so I called it Focal Point. And I taught thousands of business owners, and have still all over the world in multiple languages, how they can look at each part of their business and focus on the one thing in each area that they can do right now that will have the greatest positive impact. Everything else they do has a lesser impact or no impact. And your ability to select the one thing that can have the greatest impact on your life at any time, and focus is the key to your success. That's why I'm so concerned about I call it the attraction of distraction. It is so disturbing because it guarantees failure in life. You actually become addicted to distraction and you can't stop it. You're just like a dope addict. You've got to have your distraction. And if you are addicted to distraction, you can't focus. And if you can't focus, you haven't got a chance against someone who can. And so therefore, I'm hitting this a little bit hard, but I want you to think about it because most people slip into this attraction of distraction and we're not even aware of it. Many of you are a little bit surprised when I talk about it because you hadn't even really thought about it. You hadn't even really thought about how much time you spend during the day distracted. And the answer is about 80%. And the rest of the time, by the end of the day, you're too tired to do anything worthwhile, to do the really important things that have big potential consequences. So your earning ability is your most important quality. And your earning ability means developing one skill at a time that can help you the most to get the most important results that determine your success and your happiness. Now here's the great payoff, is they say that happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. When you actually feel yourself moving progressively toward achieving something that's important to you, you feel happy. And your brain releases endorphins. Now endorphins are different from dopamines, but endorphins are nature's happy drug. They make you happy. Endorphins make you more creative. They make you calmer. They make you more personable. They make you more focused. And they give you more energy. So people who have high levels of endorphins are very healthy. They sleep well, they're very personable, they're creative all the time, and you can actually develop a positive addiction to endorphins. And the way you do that is you work on things that are moving you toward your goals on a regular basis. And so every day you feel this forward progress, this forward momentum. Human beings are designed so that we're only happy when we feel effective, when we feel that we are accomplishing something, when we feel productive, when we feel valuable. There's one of the challenges we have with welfare in any country that has it, but especially in the U.S., is people can very quickly get addicted to welfare, but by becoming addicted to welfare and free money, they become angry, they develop feelings of inferiority, they become alcoholic. All the joy in life is gone when they're not doing something productive, when they're not contributing. The rule is that your self-esteem and self-confidence are largely determined by the degree to which you feel you are putting more in than you're getting back out. And it's a very simple concept, is you feel that you're actually contributing more than you're getting. If you're at a job and you feel that you're not contributing as much as they're paying you, you feel really angry. It seems to have a deep negative effect on your personality. But when you feel that you're doing a great job, that you're really making a difference or a contribution, you feel wonderful about yourself. And the only way that you can achieve that is by having clear goals and then focus. Well, so I began to study management when I got into business many years ago, and I've read 6,000 books. I've studied an average of 3 hours a day for 50 years. I've read every conceivable book I possibly could and articles, and I'm still reading and learning great stuff. Some of the best thinkers in the world are writing today in books and articles and talking about breakthroughs, some of the things we just talked about now, thinking skills, thinking fast and slow, short and long-term thinking, and so on. Well, over the years, I've accumulated what I call the Big Seven, and these are the 7 roles and goals or most important responsibilities of leaders. and they're the most important things in business. And so I want to just share the 7 with you. And I was asked to give you a 1,000% formula, how to increase your income by 10 times. And I'll give you that as well. Plus, finally, the one quality that is most important for success, which was just repeated in a study of 500 of the fastest growing companies in the world, and they analyzed the personality profiles of the heads of these companies. So what I found was that there were 7 critical responsibilities of leaders in businesses of any size. And these are like ingredients in a recipe for a fine dish. If you're missing any one of the ingredients, the dish can fail. As a matter of fact, if you miss any one of the ingredients, the business can fail, or at least can achieve at a far lower level than it's truly capable of. So let's begin. Number 1 is to set and achieve business goals. This is the most important thing that you do as a leader in your business and in your life, is to set and achieve business goals. Everything is your ability to achieve goals. And so we have to start off with my favorite word is clarity. What exactly are the business goals that you want to achieve, and how do you measure them, and what is your deadline for achieving them? And it is amazing how many business people and entrepreneurs avoid this question because they're afraid that they may not achieve the goal to the degree to which they can measure it and on that deadline, so they don't even want to set the goal at all. The major reason I found when I began studying human success 35 years ago, the major reason people don't set goals is that they're afraid they may fail. And they don't like the feeling of failure, so they don't set them at all. And so instead of setting very clear goals and making plans to achieve them, they just work every day. And they sort of hope that everything will be fine. They just hope it'll be fine. But successful people set and achieve goals, and they know what their goals are, and every person in the business knows what their specific goals are, which contribute to achieving the goals of the company. And the number 1 word is clarity. Be absolutely clear about your goals. Your sales goals, your income goals, your profitability goals, your profit margin goals, your growth goals, your customer acquisition goals. Is be very clear about your goals, and then make plans to achieve them, and a plan is merely a list of activities organized by sequence. What do you do first? What do you do second? What do you do third? And then set deadlines. When am I going to achieve this goal? Now don't worry about missing the deadline or failing at achieving the goal. Failure is far more common in business than success. But every single time you set a goal and a schedule and a plan and you fail at it, you learn something valuable that helps you to be more successful next time. Well, what does this mean in business? In business, it means what we do is we set a clear target and we set a goal and a schedule, and then we shoot. And what happens is we overshoot, undershoot, we make mistakes. And then what do? You adjust. That's all. You just adjust. And you keep adjusting until finally you get to the point where it works. And so don't worry about making mistakes. There's nothing wrong with it because everybody does it. The main thing is to learn from the mistake and adjust. Take in information and adjust until you're much more accurate. So setting and achieve business goals. So what are your goals? And remember, clarity is the first word. Be absolutely clear about your goals and make sure that each person who works in your company is clear about their goals as well, and how they will be measured, the number that you'll attach to them, and the schedule or deadline for achieving the goals, and then constantly make adjustments. The second key is marketing and innovation. Now, if I were to ask you, what is the purpose of a business? This is the great question. The answer is not to make a profit. The answer is to create and keep a customer. It's to get a customer and then hold on to the customer. And a profit is the result of doing that in a cost-effective way. So we say the purpose of a business is to create customers. That's why I said earlier, is if you're concerned with your revenues and your profitability, create more customers. How do you create more customers? You innovate. So marketing and innovation are the heartbeat of a business. Marketing means you're constantly contacting new prospective customers, and innovation means you're constantly improving the process of not only marketing, but of your products and services. So here's the second question. What is the measure of business success? The answer is customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction. Every person in every major company that is successful has a single focus, is they focus on marketing and improving their marketing and their products simultaneously, and then they focus on customer satisfaction. The rule is this: make customers happy. Make customers happy. By the way, it's something that I love to teach to my friends is, do you want to be rich in business? Well, there's a person out there who will make you rich. It's like a genie in a cave, And the person is your customer. And you know how your customer will make you rich? Is you go to your customer and say, what can we do to make you happier than our competitors? What can we do to make you happier next time? And your customers will tell you, you'll do more of this or less of that, or if you'll start this or stop that, I'd be happier. And then you say, okay, we'll do that. And your customer will be happier, and they'll buy from you, they'll be more satisfied, and they'll be much happier. And they'll become loyal customers. So what I say is your customers will make you rich if you have the courage to go and ask them, what can we do to make you happy? What can we do to make you happier? What can we do to make you even happier? And the way you do customer research is you don't say, how's everything going? Because if you say, how is everything going? There's 22 years of research on this, by the way. I know so much good stuff. But basically, if you say, how's it going? They'll say, fine. And if a person says fine and makes no other comment, they're already talking to your competitor and planning to leave you. If they say fine and have no other comment, you've lost that customer. So instead of saying, how is everything going? You say, how could we serve you better in the future? How could we serve you better in the future? And they will tell you. And everything they tell you is what they're unhappy about today with your services. Here's an interesting point. Every company that is a big success today started off as a failure. They started off with products and services that were not particularly good. And then they got feedback from their customers and they constantly improved them until they were recognized as being excellent in their market. You do not have to be the best with your product or service. You just have to be in the top 10%. Now here's an aside with regard to marketing. And this is probably the most important work ever done at Harvard, 50 years of research on marketing and competitive advantage. And the expression is unique added value. This comes from Michael Porter's work. Unique added value means that people buy your product or service because they perceive that you offer unique added value. Now the word unique in any language is a special word. It's a word that cannot be qualified. That means it cannot be uniquer or more unique or less unique or uniquest. You cannot qualify. Unique is one and only. So the key to business success is for you to offer unique added value. Is you offer something that the customer wants. Remember we talked about value creation? What the customer wants and needs and values and is willing to pay for, and that no other competitor can offer. Now sometimes the unique added value is yourself. Is you are a special person with special talents, you have a great personality, you're very customer sensitive, you have lots of experience in this area, so you can really do a wonderful job for your customer. So sometimes it's just something as simple as you, being the unique added value that no other company in the world has. But you've got to have one. And the rule is if you don't have one, you must develop it. You must figure out what do you have to have that then people say, why do they buy from you? They buy from you because you offer this and no other competitor can offer this. Really important. So the third question is, what is the mark of customer satisfaction? Repeat business. Repeat business is the mark of customer satisfaction, and the highest level of customer satisfaction is customer recommendations and referrals to new customers. The most successful companies take such good care of their customers that their customers buy from them and buy again and again and bring their friends. And so your job, this is your focus in building your ideal business. What do we have to do to, first of all, create customers, unique added value? What do we have to do to please our customers to make them really happy so that they come back? And what do we have to do to get our customers to buy from us again? In our 2-day MBA, by the way, we go into depth in every single one of these, and it literally transforms a business, transforms the whole thinking of everybody in the business and every customer contact. So the first of the 7 keys, number 1 is set and achieve business goals. The second is to market and innovate. And innovating means finding faster, better, cheaper ways to make customers happy. Number 3 is to solve problems and make decisions. Is that your ability to solve problems and make decisions is really the critical ability for success, advancement, and high income. When you look at people who start off in their first job with no earning ability with a large company, and 20 years later they're the president of that company, first of all, they climbed up the ladder of success, but they developed the ability to solve problems at their level. And what Henry Kissinger said was the only thing you get for solving problems is bigger problems to solve. But bigger problems come with more responsibility, more authority. A factory is losing money. They send you out there to save the factory, save the jobs of 5,000 people, and you go in and you say, what are the problems that we're having in this factory that's keeping down our productivity or affecting our quality and so on, and they send out the best problem solvers. All my life I've met people who have started at the bottom and who are now top executives in major international corporations, and they say the reason they got here was because they developed an ability to solve the problems at their level. So I could talk about this all day, and I do. I'll just give you one thought, and this is so simple, it's embarrassing, is how do you become a great problem solver? And the answer is you focus on the solution rather than the problem. You think intensely about solutions all the time. Now, what is it that average people, the bottom 80% of people, think about when a problem arises? The answer is who did it and who's to blame. They are focused on the past and the problem. What's the problem and who's to blame? What is it that top people do? They say you cannot change a past event. This problem has occurred, so now it is a reality. So the only question now is what do we do about it? How do we solve it? What is our next action? And so when you constantly think in terms of solutions, you become more and more valuable. And the more you think in terms of solutions to any problem in your life, the more you come up with solutions, the more creative you become. You become smarter and brighter. And when you are solving problems and discussing different choices and alternatives, you become more positive, you become more powerful, you become more influential, and eventually people say, we've got a problem, take it to him, take it to her, because they're really good at solving problems. And your mind is in problem-solving mode all the time. It's like it's clicked on and running all the time. And so you start throwing problems in the top of your hopper, and the solutions are coming out all the time. Because you think about solutions, not blame. When you think about blame, it shuts down your brain. When you think about blame, who's to blame for the problem, it shuts down your creativity. It makes you negative, it makes you angry, and it makes you a negative influence on others. But when you think about solutions, you become the most important person in the room. So think about solutions. Now, here's a great exercise. Ask yourself, what is the biggest problem that I'm facing in my life today? Now, what is it that most people do is they can identify the problem. You all know what it is. Usually the biggest problem in your life comes with hair on top. But we all know what the biggest problem is. Sometimes it's a business problem and so on. So then the next question is, what's the solution? What are all the possible solutions? And here's what they found is the more solutions you can think of, I could do this and I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, the more likely it is you'll come up with a great solution. And so just start thinking in terms of solutions. I have the problem, but what's the great challenge with most people is they're passive. They have the problem and they accept it. Oh, I've got this problem. It's like standing in the rain or standing in the sun and complaining about the weather. And the fact is that proactive people like yourself, they say, this is a problem, it's an obstacle, it's causing me unhappiness or frustration, and by gum, I'm going to solve this problem. And they just start to think, well, how can we do it? And they ask other people, and they read, and they research. Is when you have a problem, you say, oh, I'm not going to be passive about this problem. Sales are down, profits are down, competition is tremendous, regulations are changing, and so on. I'm going to find a solution. I will find a solution. And I've worked with some of the most successful people in the world, some of the richest people in the world, and they all have that attitude. Is a problem is just something to be solved. It's an obstacle, it's something to go over or under or around. Is they just expect that life is going to be full of obstacles and difficulties, and by gum, they will find a solution. So solving problems and making decisions is one of the 7 most important things you do. Number 4 is to set priorities and determine key tasks. This, in all the time management work that I've done, and all the books I've written, and millions of people I've influenced, all of time management comes down to your ability to choose priorities, to select one thing and do only that one thing until it's complete. And so setting priorities, and there's a whole series of techniques that you can do, but my favorite question of all in time management is to ask every minute of every hour, what is the most valuable use of my time right now? What is the most valuable use of my time right now? When you start work in the morning, if your entire income and all your hopes and dreams for yourself and your family and your future are determined by the revenues that you generate, by your income, then the most valuable use of your time is to create value and generate revenues. And don't do anything but that. Don't do anything that is a secondary use of your time, because whatever you do repeatedly over and over again becomes a habit. And pretty soon you develop the habit of doing small, unimportant things. And then you can't break the habit. It traps you. Every time you go to work, it's like the ball on the string. You just come, boom, and you start doing little, irrelevant things. Soon the whole day is gone, and you haven't achieved anything. So the key is to set priorities and focus on your most important priority. Focus, focus. The fifth characteristic of leaders is the ability to concentrate and focus on the most important thing you can do and to stay with it until it's 100% complete. Now, in life, what are we paid for? We're paid for results. But results mean task completion. So all of success in business is completing tasks. Is complete the task, finish the task, get the task 100% done. The difference between winners and losers is they all work hard, but losers, the bottom 80%, don't complete their tasks. Is they work on the task and the task goes on and they get distracted, or they procrastinate, or the task takes much too long to complete. But what you and I are evaluated on is task completion, is finishing the job, getting the damn job completed. Now, when I was introduced, they said I've written 45 books. I'm happy to say that statistic's about a year old. I've written 65 books. I just write books because I have great ideas, practical ideas that I think people can use to be more effective. So I come up with the idea and I write it into a book. But because I've done so many thousands of hours of research, I can write almost every book starting with a clean sheet of paper. I can write a 300-page book without reference to notes on 65 different subjects. And they're loaded, as you know, with content. They're just loaded with great ideas, hundreds of great ideas on a particular subject. Anyway, people say, well, how can you write so many books? A professional writer writes one book every 2 or 3 years. And the answer is because I finish. I set it as a goal, I make a plan, I start work, and I finish the book. I complete the damn book. Do you know how many writers or would-be writers are out there who have books in their minds or books on paper and they never write the book? And the most incredible thing about task completion is that whenever you complete a task, it gives you a burst of endorphin. It makes you happy, it makes you feel powerful, it energizes you, it makes you feel strong. So what they have found is that any completed task is a source of self-esteem and self-confidence. It makes you feel like a winner. So if you have a series of tasks to do, and let's say you have 10 tasks, and this is the least important, and this is the most important, the bigger the task that you complete, the greater the feeling of personal power and self-esteem you have, the more you feel like a winner. And so if you can develop the habit of starting and completing tasks, you feel fabulous about yourself all the time. Your self-confidence goes through the roof because you know you can do anything that you put your mind to because you've proven it to yourself. It's not that you hope you can complete important tasks. You've done it, and you do it regularly. Nothing will move you ahead faster than developing a reputation for starting and completing important tasks. They interviewed several hundred CEOs of major corporations at a convention in New York a few years ago, and they asked them, what would most help a person in your company, a younger person, to move ahead rapidly, to get paid more and promoted faster in your company? 85% of them had the same answer. The ability to choose their most important task and then to get the task done quickly and well. And that has been corroborated by 1,000 surveys. Is the most valuable people in my company are people who set priorities and work on really important things with big potential consequences for my company, and then they do them quickly and well. Quickly and well. They do the job fast and they do it well and get it back to me. I learned this when I was a young person and it transformed my life. It's from then on, I just literally was like a fanatic. Every job my boss gave me, I did it quickly and well. Quickly and well. I'd stay up all night. I would work weekends. I would work hours to complete tasks well in advance of when they were required. And it had the most incredible effect on my career. All you do is get a reputation for doing things quickly and well. And what happens is you set up the law of attraction. More and more and bigger and more important tasks are attracted into your life that you do quickly and well. Number 6 is to be a role model, is to be the kind of person that other people admire, is to set high standards for yourself and then always live up to those standards. If you want people in your company to dress well yourself. If you want them to be punctual for every meeting. If you want them to do their work quickly and well, do your work quickly and well. If you want them to treat each other nicely, treat everybody nicely. In other words, you at the top set the tone for everybody below you. Everybody in the company looks at the boss and does what the boss is doing. And the boss sets the tone and determines the morale of the organization. So one of my favorite questions, which I pass on to you, is this, is what kind of a company would my company be if everybody in it was just like me? What kind of a company would your company be if everybody in it did exactly what you did all day, every day? Would it be a better company? Or is there room for improvement? And the fact is there's room for improvement. And if you're honest with yourself, you say, well, I could be a bit more punctual or a bit better prepared for meetings, or I could focus on revenue generation tasks, or I could be nicer to people or listen. I mean, once you ask this question, you set really high standards for yourself, and you always look for ways to be a better boss. And you'll find the very best companies have the best bosses, the best leaders. And they're the leaders that everybody admires and looks up to and respects because of the way they work and the way they treat other people. So keep setting high standards for yourself. And they say the average person compares themselves with others, and the superior person compares themselves with what they are capable of being, with their true potential. Number 7 key is to perform and get results. Coming back to our old friend, results. In the final analysis, all your hopes and dreams and all your income and all your future and the size of the house you live in and the car you drive and the vacations you take will be determined by the results that you get. And your job is to dedicate your working life to getting more and more and better results. And so perform and get results. And as I reverse, going right back to what Drucker said, the leader asks, what results are expected of me? And of all those results, what are the most important results? And then what you do is you pick the most important result of all, and then you focus and concentrate on that one result. And you work day and night, and you work with total dedication to accomplish that one result until you make a habit of starting and completing and achieving your most important results. And that will do more to help you in your business in terms of financial and personal results than anything else you can do. But it will also do more to affect you psychologically and emotionally. It will raise your self-esteem and self-confidence. They say confidence comes from accomplishing. Confidence doesn't come from attending motivational seminars. Confidence comes from actually doing good work and seeing that you've done good work and having people say, that's good work. And you're internally motivated and driven to do it again and to repeat the process because you're getting positive responses whenever you do good work and whenever you complete your task. Now, 2 more things I have to finish with you. Those are the 7. The number 1 quality for success in business, according to the study of the presidents of the Fortune 500, of the Inc. 500 fastest growing companies in America, is unbridled optimism. These people are so positive they should be arrested and held in padded cells. They are so positive about the future of their business that no matter what happens, they just overwhelm every difficulty. It never occurs to them that they will not be successful. They will just be successful in a different way. Now, how do you become an optimist? Well, optimism is like mental fitness. Just like if you want to be physically fit, you work out physically with your body. If you want to be mentally fit, you exercise your mind. So there's 4 things that you can do for the rest of your life to be a really positive person. Number 1 is to think and talk about your goals and how to achieve them. Is when you're thinking and talking about your most important goals, both business and personal, and you're thinking of the actions that you can take to achieve those goals, and you're actually taking those steps, your sense of optimism goes up dramatically. Number 2 is to look for the good in every situation. One of the facts is that you're going to have nothing but problems and difficulties and obstacles all your life. That goes with the nature of being in business. The only question is, how do you respond to them? And the answer is always look for something good. This, by the way, is a discovery made in interviewing thousands of the most successful people, is they make it a habit. Whenever something goes wrong, they say, well, that's good. And then find out something good about it. And there's always something good. No matter how bad the situation is, there's always something good that comes from it. The third way to become an optimist is to seek the valuable lesson in every setback or difficulty. This is the most important perhaps of all, is that you can focus on the problem and the loss, or you can focus on the lesson and what you can learn to be better next time. And whichever one you focus on determines whether you're positive or negative. If you are thinking about your goals, you're always positive. If you're looking for the good, you're always positive. If you're looking into your biggest problem today for the lessons you can learn from that problem, you'll always be positive. And the fourth key to optimism is to continue to learn and grow. Continue to learn new things that can help you to achieve your most important goals. And then, of course, take action. But you'll find that leaders are learners. They're constantly learning new things. And whenever you learn something new that can help you, it makes you happy. It makes you positive. It releases endorphins in your brain.